the Center for Constitutional Rights, and she's joining us now from New York. Thank you very much indeed for your time, ma'am. Let me ask you, first of all, what do you think are the key issues that are most likely to be impacted first by this appointment?
I think there are a variety of social issues that are going to be impacted by this appointment. As was mentioned, with the replacement of Justice Kennedy, the court is most certainly going to move further to the right, and that puts issues such as abortion and gay rights kind of squarely within those issues that might be revisited by the court and possibly, have a decision that either overturns abortion rights or, significantly restricts them. So social issues, hot button issues such as abortion, gay rights, affirmative action, voting rights, I think those are all fair play for the next Supreme Court.
John was telling us just a second ago about the number of protests that have already been organized in relation to this appointment. Further down the road, once we start to get an idea of how the Supreme Court is starting to rule on certain issues, what action can be taken by those opposed to those rulings?
I think the key is, again, for people just to mobilize and especially to let their elected representatives know, that there are certain social issues that they care very deeply about. And, as we are approaching the midterm elections, I think, for example, Democrats in key red states, in Trump states, and the few Republican senators who are pro-abortion and pro-upholding a woman's right to choose what to do with her body, I think voters in those states specifically need to put political pressure on those candidates to reject a nominee who would be anti-abortion or anti-LGBTQ rights or anti any number of social justice causes that that a new, more conservative justice would likely vote against.
If I understand it correctly, this process is supposed to end in October. The incumbent is supposed to be in place by then. And of course, we have the midterm elections coming up in November. How much of an impact do you think this pick for the Supreme Court is likely to have on voting in those midterms?
I think, again, with, for example, the Democrats who are fighting for their seats in red states, I think the way that they vote on this judicial nominee will be a referendum on whether they're going to push the Democratic voters in their state and the Democratic base as a whole further left if they vote to appoint a Trump nominee that's very conservative. And then if they vote to oppose him, I think that also kind of jeopardizes their seat because they are already based in red states and will likely see a push from conservative voters to vote them out of office. So I think, the way they vote on this issue, either vote is really going to be very definitive for their political future.
Noor Zafar from the Center for Constitutional Rights, thank you very much indeed. For more